All right, eighth graders, I've recorded this like twice and I keep going long. So I'm going to whip through this so that I can get to the basics. All right. So sorry. If you stay to the end of this, I promise you another little surprise. So stay through to the end. All right. Directions. This one's a little different. Is that remember the last assignment was one paragraph? Now we're asking you to do two. And the last assignment, you had two paragraphs, or sorry, two quotes. We're asking you to pull four, two per each paragraph. So, bottom line is, we want you to write two paragraphs that answer the question you've been following along the whole time. How are Trevor Noah's experiences as an adolescent similar and different than yours so far, up to eighth grade? So, you got to find some sort of connection that's similar, and then it should be easy to find things that are very different. But both paragraphs are the same format, ICE. So, in the end, the goal of both paragraphs is to use evidence and explanation to show us that there are similarities and differences between Trevor Noah and you. So we're not going to give you a quote bank this time because these are very personal choices. You choose. Hopefully, you have them already. If you followed along with our work, you have already done chapters 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 times two quotes per chapter. That's 10 quotes. I'm only asking for four. So you should have plenty of stuff to sift through. Now, same formula. ICE means introduce a quote or a fact, cite it word for word in our case, and then explain how that evidence, that quote, connects back to what you said for a topic sentence. So here's the thing. We're going to change a few things up. We're not going to give you a full example. We're going to give you your graphic organizer for each paragraph. This is the first one, and it's for the compare. You can do it in any order you want, but I'm starting with the compare. And when we say compare, we usually mean similar. So bottom line is the topic sentence should be similar, but I'm not giving it to you as a sentence. I'm giving it to you as a question. Your job is to turn it into a statement. So how do you say, how are Trevor's experiences as an adolescent similar to your own? How do you turn that into a statement? That's your topic sentence. All right, down here, the one thing we are going to push a little bit is some of your introductions of each citation or each quote, they're a little short. It's really not good enough to say, as he says, or in the book he explains. We really want to know what's going on in the book. So, what I guess I'm asking for you is right here, the when and the what of each quote. If you can give me that information or your reader that information, you've given enough background. Okay, the rest of this is you need a quote. All right, that's easy. And you need to explain how that quote supports this. That we need to pump up a little bit. So I'm thinking probably more like 2 or 3 sentences of explanation. Some of you are trying to do it with one. It's just not enough. So let's dive into the examples because again, this is a graphic organizer. You've already done this. This is not new. I'm going to do the compare paragraph and then I'm just going to sort of lay that out. And then honestly, I'm going to really skip by the contrast. So here we go. Mr. Bettini's life is very similar to my own life experiences up to now. All right, that's my topic sentence. Okay. Now, to begin, in the first chapter of his memoir entitled The Most Dangerous Man, when Bettini is describing how he once had to fight off 50 alligators with only a toothbrush and he describes his terrifying experience, he says, notice this is quite a bit of background. I know he was fighting 50 alligators. I know it was the first chapter. It's terrifying. Now I know why he said, suddenly all of my thoughts disappeared and I only acted on instinct. 45. Notice no punctuation there. We got quotation mark, space, space. Then we have parentheses, 45, period goes at the end. All right, I'm going to highlight that. All right, so there's my quote. Here's my explanation. I can relate very well to this experience of relying on instinct because I too once had to protect myself from an angry mob of crazed anti-readers in the jungles of Borneo. So that's similar. Both Bettini and I have stared danger in the eye and survived because of our basic survival instincts. There's another example of similarity. This shared experience bonds us forever. So I've got 3 sentences tying this experience from Bettini with the alligators to my anti-readers of Borneo. Similar. All right. Additionally, we are similar in another significant way when Bettini goes on to explain in chapter 10 about how during any viewing of the movie King Kong versus Godzilla, he openly weeps during the touching moments when Kong communicates in sign language with his little human friend. Again, lots of background. When did this quote happen and what was going on? I even put a period there and had a second sentence in my intro that says, Bettini describes this experience as he writes, comma, and then I go into my quote. So you can break up an introduction so that there's enough background and you can take a breath. So here's my quote. Whenever I see humans and beasts connect with language, my heart sings like a golden harp. I can't help it. I sob uncontrollably. Page 103. Period. All right. Now look at all this. There's my quote. All of this is designed to show how this quote right here connects to this topic sentence. So this ability of Mr. Bettini to be able to cry openly, unashamed of his emotions and feelings surrounding a simple yet moving connection between animal and human is something I also understand and am willing to experience. I once saw a plastic bag dance in the breeze as if playing a game with the wind. It struck me as so private a moment between plastic and nature that I had to film it, and I wept for an hour because of its beauty. Our shared experiences of leaning into a moment enough to cry is a powerful connection between myself and Mr. Bettini. So this last sentence literally lays out that these two things are similar. And here's my ending sentence. As one can see, there are many moving important similarities between the two of us. Paragraph done. Okay, guess what? That was compare, which is usually similar. The other one is contrast. So that's opposite or different. So notice my topic sentence is a little different because we want to make our paragraphs flow. So if I mention the first paragraph in the topic sentence of my second paragraph, I got a nice flow. So here's what it says. While having some similarities, notice I'm referencing the previous paragraph, how are Trevor's experiences as an adolescent different from your own? If you just turn that into a statement, you got yourself a pretty nice, smooth transition topic sentence. And again, there's my background. I'm going to give a lot of background on each quote so my reader knows why and where. Now, I'm not going to go into this, but notice it's the same formula. So now, here's my topic sentence. While similar in many ways, there are also major differences between the life experiences of myself and Mr. Bettini. Okay, so my topic sentence is now setting the stage for we're going to talk about differences. All right, and I go into some background. The green is all background. This is the quote. This is how much explanation it requires, almost 5 lines. I got another transition that gives me 3 lines of background information as I introduce the quote. I got a long quote. And then I have almost 4 lines, almost 4, explaining how they're different. And then my final sentence, my clincher, does another wrap up. That's a lot like the topic sentence. As one can see, while having some similarities, there are also many differences. Okay. Now, the rubric, 16 points again, but it's a little different. Obviously, you got to pick good quotes. There are 4 of them, so you need 4. Explanation of evidence, we want to bump that up a little bit. We want to see more of you connecting your quote with how it shows that you're either similar or different. So your topic sentence is what you're proving. Introduction of quotes, we want to see more here. We want to see you really give a bunch more information about where quotes come from and like what's going on and when they happen in the story. And lastly, correct punctuation. We're really looking for that. So we'll do a lesson in class, but the expectation is you know how to do it. Okay, so stick around for a nice little surprise. All right, good luck.